Welcome to Jackson Recommends What to Watch, the show whose goal is to save you 30 minutes so you don't spend all that time wasted and you get to just watch something. If you know people who spend 30 minutes not actually watching anything and just scanning through their Netflix feed or their Hulu feed or whichever feed, recommend this show to them. It's like Inception, man. Bwah. I'm going to try something a little bit different. There's 4 services I watch mostly, which is YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. So why not do a couple shows from each or one show from each, So starting with YouTube, because you're already here. So finish this show and then hop over to Wisecrack. Wisecrack is an amazing channel on YouTube. They do deep dives into philosophy and cinema, which are both things that are totally my jam. So watch those. Also, PhilosophyTube, clearly a philosophy channel, and it's this British bloke who does deep dives into different philosophers, different philosophies, and it is a nice dipping your toe into philosophy. After all, philosophy is basically religion for atheists, and that's cool. Also, if you're religious, also good, because, thinking about stuff is good, and anti-intellectualism is bad. I know, shocker of a theory, but yes, anti-intellectualism is bad. Also, stumbling over the word anti-intellectualism. In any case, PhilosophyTube is dope, Wisecrack is dope, watch them. And then there's this show, which you're already watching, so kudos to you. Amazon Prime, I'm currently watching The Expanse, which is a show I recommended to my buddy because he was looking for something that was Firefly-esque. And when I did a Google search for books that were Firefly-esque, this Goodreads recommended The Expanse, which is a 3-book series. And at the time, they only had the first book out. So I read the first book and was chomping at the bit for more. Then the show dropped, and I hadn't watched it. I eventually watched the first 2 episodes. I recommended it to Adam without actually knowing if it was good beyond what I had seen, but I was like, the book was really good. And we just finished the 5th episode, and I'm like, yes, solid, good show. Also, not a comedy, so I'm like, I don't need to watch it twice to know it's good, because whereas a comedy who can make you laugh multiple viewings is a benchmark of quality, with action and suspense shows, you're like, all right, this is solid, I really enjoy this. Also, in The Expanse, the cinematography is great. It's full of good actors who are also very attractive, which is nice. Yay, sci-fi, full of beautiful people. You know what? Since I did philosophy, I'll also keep on the sci-fi bend. Another great show on Netflix, because The Expanse is on Amazon Prime. But on Netflix, you can watch is Altered Carbon, which is a Netflix original, also based on a book. And that one has to do with aliens gave humans this technology that allows us to download our consciousness into a disk which holds all of our human experience, and then you can sleeve it into any body, which has a lot of interesting questions for, what makes you you. If you were sleeved in a different body, would you still be the same person? How would, your friends and family treat you differently? What if a loved one was sleeved into a body and you're like, I don't really find that body attractive? Ooh, interesting. Also, I'm disabled. I have cerebral palsy. And cerebral palsy, lack of oxygen shortly after I was born. So if I was re-sleeved, that sleeve would not have cerebral palsy because it wouldn't have that damage, which is really interesting to me as a disabled person. Also, I would have to learn how to walk again. Like, I've learned how to walk 3 times because leg surgeries, and each time when I had those leg surgeries, because my muscles work differently, I had to relearn how to walk, even though I knew how to walk the way my muscles used to work. So if I was re-sleeved in this universe, I would then have to learn how to walk with the new body. And then if I was re-sleeved back into my original body, be like, okay, well, that's annoying. In any case, that's kind of cool. And it does bring up those kind of questions, which good sci-fi should and does. Now, I know a lot of people have been telling me to watch Black Mirror, and I've seen a few episodes, but one of the things that bothers me about Black Mirror is it's extremely future-phobic, which I'm not really into. And I know that future phobia is sort of the zeitgeist of current American sci-fi, and I get it. Like, we live in troubled times, and it makes sense. Worrying about the future has always been a hallmark of sci-fi, but the future phobia to the point of Luddites, like being like, okay, get off, just ignore all technology, not really my thing. So yeah, I know I should watch more Black Mirror, don't get me wrong, but The Expanse is dope, Altered Carbon is dope, watch them, they're both really good, and I should have a better recommendation for Hulu, but if you haven't seen it already, watch Firefly. If you've already seen Firefly and you're like, I want more, rewatch Cowboy Bebop. Like, we wouldn't have Firefly if we didn't have Cowboy Bebop. We wouldn't have The Expanse if we didn't have Firefly. So, go back through the lineage of the things that you love. The Good Place seasons 1 through 3 are both on Netflix and Hulu, which is awesome. Also, the current season of The Good Place is airing, so you can catch those episodes on Hulu if you have that service. The Good Place is great. It also has this philosophy bend, and it is really funny. Although I get it that if you don't binge the first season, it might not grab you. Like, I personally watched the first 3 episodes when I was house sitting for my folks way back, when it was on their DVR. And that was good, but I was like, I'll watch it eventually. And then one weekend, I was pretty hungover, if I'm being honest. And I decided to, be like, I need something that's, like, fun and funny and, like, half an hour long means 20 minutes in real life when it's on Netflix. So I was like, I can just watch these and cool. So I started with the episodes I had already seen, and then I kept watching, and by the middle of Sunday, I'd watched the whole first season in, 2 days, a long weekend, whatever, and it's amazing. It has one of the best season finales. Like, their first season has a really good season finale, and you're like, I want more. I want more of this show. This show's great. And I get that it loses a lot of people because it's kind of a slow burn at first. Give it a shot. Like, give it a good shake, and you won't be disappointed. I like my comedies either smart or dark or both. And The Good Place, definitely smart and sometimes dark. I mean, it is about people who are dead in the afterlife, which, depending on your bend, is dark. But, yeah, whatever. The Good Place is really good. If you haven't given it a shot, give it a shot. Give it a fair shot, too, because you can't just watch the first few episodes. Although the first episode did make me laugh out loud, which is mandatory. You have to. If you're a comedy and you don't make me laugh in the first episode, nope. In summation, Wisecrack, Philosophy Tube, Firefly, The Expanse, The Good Place. Alright, that's 5 things. Sure, good times. You did it. Stay classy, San Diego.